Okay, what's going on, guys? We're going to go over updated gameplay, game settings, and camera settings post-patch the update. Let's go straight into it. Before I do start, I want to say as well that if you haven't subscribed to my second channel, Nil Guides 2, link is down below in the description. Exclusive tactics, early release of tactics, and play reviews and a few other things as well. Nil, link down below in the description. Can't even speak. Nil Guides 2. Make sure you do subscribe to that channel. You can see some early tactics. But anyway, going over to the gameplay first. These are the updated things post-patch on what I've been using for a few weeks. We've been asking me. Competitive Master Switch on. If you're unsure what anything does, I made a video on this already. This is just the update video, so I don't want to go over the things I've gone over already. Now, the precision shooting. Finishing is diabolical this year. Diabolical. Honestly, it's an absolute, utter shambles. Now, precision, it's just not worth using, man. I'll be honest, like, I think unless you're really 100% with shooting, I'm not there yet with precision, so I'm not going to be using it. I'm going to be using assisted. Realistic is only going to apply to like 1% of you guys. And some of the top tier players are using it, only some, but still most of the pros are still using assisted. So I would say definitely assisted is the way to go. Although finishing itself is so bad, I may consider going precision after I learn it out. Time finishing, another diabolical thing. I cannot, in fact, let me just show you something. In fact, maybe it will give you the best accurate description. I'm going to go over here to Twitter, right? I made this, have a look at this situation here. I'm getting footage from this game that I was playing, yeah? Have a look at this. Lorente inside the box, green time shot, missed the target. Not like it's close, it went completely astray. What an absolute joke. So, time finishing, I'm not even joking. I genuinely think it makes the shot worse inside the box. I'm being dead serious. But time shooting outside the box for a Trivela, let's say you're doing a Trivela shot outside the foot or you're doing a finesse shot outside the box, I think it does have its use case. If you're doing any of these outside the penalty arc, then use time shooting. Inside the box, I'm not joking. I don't really use time shooting that much. I don't think it helps. It helps, of course, but remember, time shooting only narrows the radius of where the shot's going to happen. That's it. So time shooting, I have it on because I shoot outside the box. Inside the box, to be honest, whether you use it or whether you're not, sometimes the game will help you. Sometimes the game will make you miss a clear chance like that. So that is one I want recommend on time shooting. These two on semi, lob through pass with the player lock is still very, very effective. You can use that on semi as well. Ground passing, assisted. Passing is a bit broken in some areas, but otherwise, I think passing is not that bad. It's just in bad gameplay. I'm sure you know what I mean. Cross assistance, I'm leaving this on assisted. If you do use a driven pass, which is L1, R1 square, I believe, the driven lob passes, they are actually very, very good, especially when you're on the wide areas as well. By leaving this on assisted, you can leave this on semi if you like to cross the ball. As I mentioned in the other video, by leaving this on semi, it allows you to adjust the amount of power. A bit of power goes near post, more power goes towards middle. A lot of power, it allows you to go far post. So if you do cross the ball, you can put this on semi. I like to pass the ball most of the time on the ground. Driven cross inside the box, I don't. Pass through the lock on late, same as what I did in the earlier video. I used high. This one I'm not too sure about. I don't want to give my honest opinion on it yet, to be honest. I think it just doesn't work that well on high. I was testing it out. It works well in some scenarios, but it's a bit inconsistent. So we put this on normal. Rest is fine. Tactical defending. I made a video on this already. The best way I can probably explain this to everyone is, imagine you're driving a car. You learn to drive a car for the first time in your life. And imagine you've been learning to drive an automatic car and your test is in 2 weeks' time. And imagine you're struggling already in an automatic car and then your instructor goes to you, hey, whatever your name is, and they go, why don't you start learning manual 2 weeks before your exam? You're going to think they're mad, right? So this is the kind of logic I have. The truth is, the utter truth is, unless you know how to defend, this is not going to help you. Is advanced defending better? Yes, of course it's better. But the vast majority of players, even in players, ask yourself this. Are you in Division 2 and above? If not, use tactical. Half the pro players are still using tactical defending, so don't worry. Yes, advanced defending gives you more control, but the AI assistance is very, very important on tactical defending. So just remember that in mind. Just, by the way, ignore these buttons, by the way. These are the wrong buttons, but just ignore that. But yeah, That's my opinion on tactical defending. Unless you know when to use it, and the benefits of advanced defending, you really need the play styles as well. That's one of the big things. You need the play styles as well. I'm using tactical defending. It's completely fine. And to be honest, you can still force a shoulder barge. And most times if not, you're going to slide tackle the ball anyway or do a normal pass. And problem is people are saying, oh yeah, when you use advanced defending, you can barge someone off the ball. All you got to do is run in front of them and you get the ball regardless. So what people are doing is they're using one or two use cases where advanced defending is better for them. And they're thinking that's the whole thing. It's not. Vast majority of you use tactical defending. Once you're in the lead division, if you're in the lead division right now in October and you're in that division, then you can change to advanced. In my opinion, I'd rather stay in tactical. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Everyone has different opinions. Of course, advanced is better. But in my opinion, unless you know how to defend properly, half of you are struggling with defending anyway. Why do you want to go to advanced? Why do you want to put your head and think about one more thing when you're defending? Just keep it simple, guys. Stick to what you're used to. Then once you're comfortable with defending, you're used to the game, you grasp the game, you grasp defending, then you can go to advanced after. Pass block leaves on O's and turns on off. Air balls on loose balls. I tried manual, but I think air balls, loose balls is good. This should be on none, as I mentioned. Unless you're new to the game, you can use low. Never ever use high. Right stick switching, I use ball relative. I think it's a bit more consistent, even more consistent this year. Right stick switching is very problematic, I would say, this year. Very, very problematic. Now, this is the one where, I'll be honest, like, you know, Al made a video on this. So shout out to him on Twitter. And I did try. He recommended 8 sensitivity. I think you probably know what I'm talking about. Right stick switching is broken. Essentially, sometimes if you have this on 10, you might right stick. So I'm trying to, all these issues I'm trying to explain to you in examples that maybe I can probably, well, I'm trying to depict examples in my head and hopefully you'll understand it. But let me try to do it here. With it on being on 10, sometimes you may, let's say you got let's say this is your CDM and this is your striker. Let's say you want to select your CDM. Sometimes with sensitivity on 10, you choose someone completely out of the picture, like your striker when you're controlling your defensive line. Or if you choose a centre back here, let's say you want to choose this centre back. Sometimes they might go to your strike. It's insane. So I would never recommend 10. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. This one is going to be one of those few situations where I say there's no real best input here. It just depends on personal preference. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm legit ranging from 4 to 7 to 8. I mean, that is where I'm really going. I'm changing every game. Gameplay is not the best. It's not hard for me. I don't know yet. I'm still adjusting it. To be honest, I'm going to be completely dead honest with you. I'm not even going to lie. This just depends purely on your style. I would say leave it on 4 and try to adjust it slowly. Test this in Rivals. Rivals is the best way to test it because if you lose, what happens? Nothing happens in Rivals. So I definitely recommend testing this in Rivals because you have the checkpoints. But the higher sensitivity gives you more onus and manual control over where it goes. I think that's just too extreme. It kind of acts as like adaptive. It's really hard. I'll make an advanced video on this where I explain this in detail. Next player switching, use classic. Player lock on. Icon switching have this off. It's not worth it. It's just too slow. Orbit dribbling, you can leave it on and off whether you use it or not. To be honest, I don't use it that much, but I still have it on anyway. I would just say, just do be careful if you have custom controls because sometimes it might register dummy, stuff like that. Shot assistance save on semi. Analog sprint. I don't think there's a need for this anymore because you have control sprint and that's running at full speed, that's jogging, and control sprint's the middle one. And I feel like you kind of don't need analog sprint anymore because of control sprint, but that's something to mention. I have these on off. I always want this on off because I don't want them to distract me inside the game. Now, for camera settings, I think if you're struggling with defending and player switching and shooting, the co-op camera angle is the most important one. 20 height, 0 zoom. If you sit from a TV far away, you can put this on 10. Now, a lot of people are saying to me, co-op is too hard to adjust to. Then use co-op and use 20 zoom. I made a video on cameras already. I'm not going to go over this again. I don't want to waste your time. But you can check that video on my cameras on my channel. But I would recommend 0. And this is a little quick tip. If you want the game to feel faster, let's say, because some people say the co-op, the game is slower. The game cannot be slower on co-op. It's completely and utterly psychological. It's because the camera is zoomed out. It doesn't pan as much. If a camera is zoomed in, it pans a lot. But when it's zoomed out, it just barely moves. That's why the game appears slower. But a quick tip. If you want the game to feel quicker, put the ball tracking speed on 10 or 20. You don't believe me? Try this inside the game. It will change the way the game feels. The game will feel faster, and psychologically it will help you feel the game is quicker actually. So I would recommend that. If you are finding the game to be a bit too slow, it does realistically psychologically help a lot. Is what I would say. And that is basically it in terms of the settings. I don't think I'll make a new one. I think maybe when there's a major patch that comes out, I might go over it. Any other changes. The only thing I want to talk about is right stick switching. But to be honest, I have absolutely no clue with right stick switching this year. It's just so bloody broken. I don't even know how to even put it into words. But you know that already. You don't need me to say that. But anyway, guys, just a bit of a quick update. And going back anyway. Going back, of course, to my YouTube channel. Don't forget. Nil Guides 2, links down in the description. Early tactics videos already out. 422 attacking variation. Thanks for watching, and of course, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.